Welcome to the Legalpreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Sager, and I'm dedicated to covering common legal issues for small business owners and just how some of the world's most elite entrepreneurs have handled legal issues themselves. In true attorney fashion, the information in this episode is not legal advice. This is for informational purposes only, and you should always consult with your attorney before implementing any of the information. Now, on to the show. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Legalpreneur Podcast. You guys, today we're going to chat about refund policies. So stay tuned because I promise you do not want to miss this topic. Now, before we get into it, just a couple of reminders. Number one, we have the Legalpreneur membership currently open, but it closes this Friday, December 31st, and it's probably not going to reopen until the second quarter of 2022. So we're thinking like March, April. Not quite sure, but because we have so many other people on board, like investors, they now have say-so. So if you want an attorney on your team, get in on it now. The link is there in the show notes. Sign up, and don't forget, if you're on the annual plan, you get a free ticket to Legalpreneur Live. This is going to be the must-attend conference of the year. Even though it's Legalpreneur Live, we're not really going to be chatting too much about the legal stuff because you're already getting that. We want to make sure not only do you have the legal stuff taken care of, but also the business side of stuff taken care of. We're going to get you the best business experts you've yet to see. And we want to make sure your business is ready for crazy growth in 2022 and beyond. So get on that annual plan, get a free ticket to Legalpreneur Live. If you want to get on the wait list for Legalpreneur Live, just shoot me a DM on Instagram at Andrea Sager Law. All right, you guys, let's chat about refund policies. I get this question all the freaking time. I mean, partly because I'm always drafting and reviewing and editing terms and conditions and purchase conditions, purchase agreements, all that good stuff. So my personal take on refund policies. It really comes along with under-promising and over-delivering. And I think this should be different for service-based businesses and e-commerce businesses or retail businesses. So first, let's chat about service businesses. So as a service business, I personally think you should have a policy of no refunds. This is just my own personal opinion. You may have your own. So if you're a service-based business, I think you should have a no refund policy. This is because, hey, you're delivering a service. As long as you are actually delivering that service, why should that person get a refund if they want one? Maybe they're not happy. Maybe they changed their mind about this or that. But as long as you did the work, you should not have to give a refund. Now, there's a million different situations. I can't cover them all. But as long as you actually delivered the service, if somebody's just not happy, I mean, at the end of the day, you're not going to make everybody happy. This is why I think you should have a no refund policy when it comes to a service-based business. If, however, maybe you dropped the ball on something happened, like we're humans, shit happens. If you know in your heart that you did not deliver, then yeah, maybe you can give a refund. And you probably should because you actually didn't deliver the services. So technically, if you don't give a refund when they ask and you didn't deliver the service, then they could probably technically sue you. Are they going to? Probably not. But if you don't deliver the services, technically they could sue you. Now, what happens when you do everything in the contract, you deliver everything, you do all the services that you promised, and the customer is not happy and they want a refund? What do you do? Well, there's a couple of things here. Number one, you do have to realize not everybody's going to be happy. And just because you want to make everybody happy is not a reason you should give a refund. If you want to make everybody happy, honestly, that may mean you're a people pleaser. And trust me, you guys, I am so ridiculously guilty of this. It's actually something that I'm overcoming and actively healing, being a people pleaser. So if you are a chronic people pleaser, like I have been in my past, and you want to give a refund just because somebody asked, I encourage you to rethink that. Because if you give everybody what they want, I don't believe you're actually living to your heart's truest desire. So if somebody is just asking for a refund, maybe they're not happy or maybe they didn't actually need it for a business. Let's talk about web design. Let's say you design this website for somebody, it's done, everything, and they're like, oh, I'm actually not going to go through with this business. So they want a refund. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You did the work, you promised these services, and now they want a refund because they're just not going to use the website. That is not your fault. That is not your problem. So I do not think you should be giving a refund for that. Now, what if you do deliver the services, but it's just not up to what they expected? Maybe they expected something more. Maybe you didn't promise more, they just expected more. And this comes down to managing client expectations. And we could talk about this all day long. But if they expected more, they did not get it. They expected certain results and they did not get them. Even if you did not promise these results, what should you do? Depending on how you manage those expectations, maybe you accidentally did lead them to believe those expectations. That's where it comes down to really determining, okay, should I give a refund here? Again, I don't think you do, but I tell you all that to say this is why you should have a no refund policy. Because if somebody comes along and you do deliver everything and maybe you didn't manage expectations correctly or whatever, there's a million things that could happen. If you have a no refund policy, you can always stray away from that policy. And that can show the customer, hey, I normally don't give refunds. That's against company policy. But for you, I'll make an exception. And I don't think you should do this for everybody. But I think there are situations where you possibly should give yourself that leeway to give a refund. I've done it myself. We don't give refunds for work that we've done, but I mean, we're human. We have a lot of clients. We've dropped the ball a time or two, and I'm always happy to give a refund, or I'm always happy to go the extra mile, do something extra for the client if we did not actually uphold our standard of service. So that's where you have to ask yourself, okay, where can I go above and beyond for this client? And that's why I think you should have the no refund policy, because that allows you the leeway to tell the client, hey, this is our policy, but for you, I'll make an exception. And that makes the client feel special. So for service-based businesses, I think you should have a no refund policy. Now, for retail businesses, I think it's very different because typically it's clothing or a product, something maybe they can try on, something that maybe just isn't working out for them. I think you should have some sort of refund policy. I don't think that you should have satisfaction guaranteed. Maybe you do have that policy. If you do, great. Just be prepared for the refunds. And, it does work out for somebody because the customer understands like, oh my gosh, they want me to be happy. Like, how can they make me happy? Maybe it's not a refund. Maybe it's just, an extra this or an extra that. So retail, I think you should have a refund policy or an exchange policy. I know those are different. And you actually have to be aware of what the rules are in each state, because some states do have a mandatory return policy or refund policy. So make sure you are paying attention in your state to what those laws are. A lot of states have a 3-day return policy or refund policy. So always make sure you're paying attention to those laws in your state. Now, you guys, I could talk all day long about refunds. So make sure that if you have additional questions, let me know on Instagram. I will answer them with a video on Instagram, but I try to keep these legal episodes short. So I just want to give you my quick overview on refunds and how I feel about them, what your policy should be. So let me know if you have additional questions. Also, what I have found to be very, very helpful is one of my coaches, Melissa Lapidus. She does phenomenal work. She's a psychologist, she's a therapist, and is basically trauma informed. She coaches on trauma, teaches trauma, and this has really helped me even working with clients. Like, I hired her for relationships, getting out of my divorce. She helped me there. And what I've learned from her has really helped me with clients and helping my clients answer those questions about their clients. Like, hey, this person's asking for a refund. What should I do? She's been so generous. She's actually going to come and do a live training for our Legalpreneur clients in January. So if you are part of the Legalpreneur membership, you will actually get access to her call. You'll be able to see it live, or you can even ask the questions if you can't attend live, and we'll make sure she answers those. But I just want to let you guys know, like, you're going to be getting access to these experts that I know are going to help you in your business in 2022. So don't forget, join the Legalpreneur membership now. It closes December 31st. And you will get all the amazing goodness in 2022. Get that business legally protected. Get that attorney on your team. All right, you guys, I'm so excited for next week because we actually have a new format for the podcast happening and starting next week. I'm so excited for this. All right, you guys, Happy New Year. I hope you all stay safe and have fun, but stay safe on New Year's Eve, and have a wonderful New Year's Day. I'll see you guys next week. If you found this information helpful, I would be so grateful if you could share it with a fellow business owner, and it doesn't cost anything to rate, review, or subscribe to the show. Your support helps me reach more listeners, which allows me to support more business owners in their entrepreneurial journey. I'll see you next episode.